Welcome to the Ghost Hacks Podcast. What you are about to hear may make you laugh. It may make you cry. It may make you shake in your boots. Two prison gods talking about strange things in the night they may never understand. And here are your hosts, Tom and Joe.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Ghost Hacks Podcast, episode 12.
12, yay!
I am Ghost Joe.
I'm Tom.
Oh, Tom, do you happen to like my impression of you on the last show, or was that not good?
For a minute, I actually thought that you cut and pasted. And then I realized that you did an impression of me being a moron, and I was like, oh, shit, I'm that predictable.
Well, you know, what's funny is that I was going to take little clips of you and just like, you know, but I didn't have enough time. So I just figured I'll just run with it.
That was cool. Yeah.
So what's going on, everybody? Yeah, I can't believe we're up to episode 12 already. This is insane.
There may not be episode 13. Ghost Joe is now part of the the Orange Crush COVID champion. He got his second dose of the COVID vaccine.
But how cool would it be? You could interview me when I'm a zombie.
Yeah.
How cool would that be?
Hey, man, I am legend. That started out as a vaccine, baby. So Ghost Joe will be a zombie walker by the end of next week.
I'm just, with the whole thing about episode 12 and everything, like it baffles my mind, like we started this thing in November and I can't believe, I don't know if podcasts can be canceled, but I for sure thought we were going to be canceled by like the fourth episode or so.
Yeah. Yeah. They're telling each other we suck and you're not doing it right, man.
But there's a first time for everything. So, hey, episode 12 might be the one.
Yeah. Joe, you sent me the analytics yesterday of how many hits we're getting and where we're reaching. And it just amazes me. Joe, we have listeners in Japan. Japan, bro.
I wonder what we're saying actually translates to Japanese, though. Like, are we talking about like girls or something? Like, what?
I don't know. Konnichiwa, bitches. That's about it, man. That's all I know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But hey, if you like it, that's awesome.
If you're from Japan, call us. I want to hear from you, man.
Because what's awesome is that we're just being ourselves, so we could go on forever.
Oh, but you know what? When you sent me the international analytics, what did we get? Like 3 downloads in Ireland?
Right.
I'm a little pissed, man. That means none of my cousins are listening to me.
I mean, I have none from Italy.
I sent it all over Facebook, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I'm amazed, but definitely very, very thankful because that's awesome.
Yeah, without a doubt.
To think that people all over the world want to listen to us. I don't even want to listen to us. Yeah. So
today, sir.
Well, we got a few things to talk about. We got some more UFO news. We actually haven't talked about UFOs in a couple episodes, actually. So we got a little UFO news. I know you said that you have a little story, pertaining to your job. And also we have a cool voicemail that we had gotten from somebody.
All right.
So, well, pretty awesome. From a haunted experience of Roosevelt Island or however you want to say it.
Roosevelt Island, New York?
Roosevelt Island, New York. Yes.
Oh, all right. So
yeah. So let's talk about the UFO thing, man.
Yeah. Oh, please. Yeah. Let me sink my teeth into this one. So did you see, it was January 30th on TMZ.com. They reported a UFO sighting in Los Angeles. And, they have video evidence, yada, yada, yada. And I encourage everybody to go to TMZ.com and check out this article. It's still up. Towards the end of the article, we had one of our art gurus take a closer look to see what she thought. Turns out our own Photoshop whiz seems to agree these do not look like fakes. The graphic artist tried to experiment with stock images to see if the images could be manipulated in a similar fashion as the original photos. The graphic artist concluded it would be hard to cut and paste these images with the exact angles.
It's not hard.
Exactly. Because
I mean that about the pictures, not about anything else.
Wah, wah. That's why they got those blue pills, Joe. Because as I'm showing you here through Zoom, like everybody could see it, Joe.
Right. Sure.
We'll link this in the show notes.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So there's two pictures side by side now. Now the right side is the original quote unquote UFO sighting. The left side is TMZ's attempt at recreation of that photo. No. Bro, look at that. They look exactly the same.
It looks like a black cardstock with like some white chalk on it. That's what it looks like to me. So you don't even need fucking Photoshop for that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Like, that's just ridiculous.
Listen, I get TMZ.com. They got to fill up a lot of content every day. You know, they want to stay in the public eye. I get it. It's what we're trying to do. But leave the paranormal stuff to the people that know what they're talking about, you know? Right. Go talk about Kim Kardashian's ass, TMZ. Please, do me a favor.
I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind that.
Yeah, I really don't mind.
Yeah, well, actually, and there was another thing, too, that if you remember, we had did a thing about UFOs a few shows ago, and then as soon as we got off of Zoom, another thing had come out.
Yes, the
CIA
the document dump.
The CIA finally released all these documents. Now, I haven't combed through all pages yet, you know, like I was doing.
Oh, there's 3,000 pages, dude.
But let me ask you this, though. It doesn't take 2,780 pages to say they don't exist. So there's got to be some crazy information in there. Even if it's not aliens per se, they're still unidentified flying objects. Regardless of if it's aliens or not, that just means that they don't know what the hell it is.
That is a case of burying it in plain sight.
Right.
They don't want to release page 1. So they're going to put page 1 at about page 1,800 in 2,800 pages.
Right.
And you have to look through 2,800 pages of redacted bullshit to find that one thing that makes you go, hold on a minute.
Right. Well, truth be told, I'm just waiting for somebody to come on YouTube and say that they did the whole thing so I could copy off of them. But hey, you know.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, baby.
Like, just give me the Cliff Notes, all right? I mean, I was never a book guy. Like, just give me the Cliff Notes, and I'll be good with that. So, yeah. So that's our UFO stuff for right now. But you said that you had some information about your workplace.
Dude, it's amazing. Because when it happened, I didn't believe it. And then I'm like, I got to tell Joe about this. I didn't set you up with it because I wanted to see what your, raw reaction to it would be. The day before that snowstorm where we got like 2 feet, was it a week or two ago now?
Right.
All right. So scenarios like that, my jail, the administration knows that officers are going to get stuck. They're going to be unable to drive on the highways. So what they'll do is, I told you, the nursery, they'll open up the 3rd floor and let officers sleep up there. You work 16 hours, you sleep up there for 8, and you go back to work the next morning. It sucks. You're sleeping in a jail, but you don't have to drive home and battle the elements and then come back the next day.
Sure.
It's clean, it's warm, and you can brush your teeth. You're not sitting on your cell phone, you're watching TV because you're inside the jail, but
sure,
it is what it is. All right, so I was that area supervisor that morning, the morning before the snow, and the watch commander, Larry, that we worked with at Arthur Kell.
Nice guy.
Yeah.
Miss that guy.
And I work with him every day. Then tell me you miss him. Larry, I'm talking to you. So
Hell is he going to retire anyway?
So anyway, he says, yo, take a walk with me. We got to go up to the third floor and just check that it's clean. And, you know, all the beds are stocked with bedding and whatnot. I was like, all right, you can go with me, because if you tell me to take care of it on my own, it's taken care of. No problem. I just did it. So we go up there and we're checking the rooms. All right, bedding here, bedding there. It's clean because we've had COVID crews up there cleaning constantly and whatnot. COVID biohazard crews, I should say, cleaning. So I walked into one of the bathrooms on the third floor and the light flips on. So I turn around to Larry, who was right behind me, and I said, "Did you turn the light on?" He goes, "No." I go, "When did we get automatic lights on the third floor?" He looked at me. He goes, "Tom, we're on the third floor of the nursery in an abandoned area that is not used but once a year. Do you think this jail is going to invest in automatic lights in a bathroom?" And it was like, it dawned on me. And I just turned around and looked into the bathroom and I was like, "Thanks for the lights, Ghost." And then I closed the door and locked it and walked away. But Ghost Joe, my hand to God, man, as soon as I put my foot over the doorway into the bathroom, whoop, all the lights in the bathroom went on.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
And it's just another story in the series of stories from the nursery third floor that keep happening over and over.
That's crazy. You know, I think I touched on the last episode too. I feel like some people now, I know you're call yourself a skeptic and stuff, but you want to believe in the stuff. But I think there's, as Carl had said in episode 9, things could attach to you, or not really attach to you, but like they know, like, all right, well, this guy's opening up a little bit to this stuff, so I might be able to do some stuff, and he'll know it's me. He'll know that it's something else, not just because I feel like if you're completely skeptic about something, that's why if you wake up and you see something, you can't wake the other person up because they're not meant to see what you're seeing.
Right. Listen, it was 9-10 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? It was still light out. It was, and
right.
Poof, the lights go. But I'll tell you what, I would have loved to see one of the Ghost Adventures crew deal with that. And they would still be screaming, running down Westchester.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh my, the lights came on. Oh.
And our never-ending saga of Zach Bagel.
Our love of all things Zach Bagels.
So yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. I mean, I've had different experiences like that too. I'm trying to space them out, because I don't have a ton of stories, but I have things here and there. But I have a couple like that too. Lights flickering, and because they use. If you would have stayed there longer, some more crazy stuff could have happened.
Which is why I left.
Because they used energy from things to make things happen. That's like they draw energy from electricity, and they're able to do stuff. And you never know. Maybe it wasn't even you. Maybe it's Larry. Maybe Larry believes in this stuff and he's more open to it also. Maybe it was him that it turned the light on for, basically,
Maybe.
It could have been that too. But that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. It's something you can't explain, and that's pretty awesome.
Definitely. So just to hit on our to take a left turn there and hit on our social media presence, for lack of a better term, we are just loving all the support we're getting on Instagram from everybody. We are the Ghost Hacks Podcast on Instagram. Please check us out. Please like us. We are getting a lot of messages from other podcasts that, yes, please reach out to us. We'd love to collaborate with you. However, we are getting one question over and over. Can you set us up to do an investigation in your jail? And I can tell you Joe, I think I speak for you because we're both in different departments. If everybody hasn't figured that out yet, I can guarantee you that it will never happen.
True.
In New York City or New York State, in a real live working jail, just for the insurance reasons alone.
I mean, New York is very stingy with that kind of stuff. That's, they're very not closed-minded, but they're very cautious of certain things. That's why you've never seen NYPD on cops. It's the same thing. They don't let things like that into departments,
right.
They don't want to be scrutinized. They don't want to be portrayed in the wrong way.
There is that. And there's also, look, our jobs can't guarantee our safety.
Right.
And we're sworn officers. So they can't guarantee anybody else's safety either. And that is a huge factor. So we are getting this question a lot. Don't want to burst anybody's bubble, but that is always going to be the answer. We will not be able to try. We will not get permission. It just doesn't happen. Sorry. I wish it did, but it's not gonna.
Other states, other cities, you might have a shot, but New York, no, that's definitely not going to happen with New York.
Right.
I'm surprised that they even did that thing with Mid-Orange. That they even let people with the whole Mid-Orange thing. But I guess maybe they probably sold it off and it belongs to somebody else.
Right. Like Arthur Kill is now a television studio.
Right. So that's probably what they did. That's why it's no longer state property anymore. So the people that own that are able to do stuff.
Arthur Kill, where Ghost Joe and I met, is on Arthur Kill Road, or was on Arthur Kill Road in Staten Island. Well, I guess it's still there. It's a television studio now. Yep. If you've ever seen the last OG with Tracy Morgan, or Ocean's 8, was it, with Sandra Bullock, the jail you see them leaving or going into, that is Arthur Kill. It's a television studio now.
Yeah, I mean, it's been on Law and Order. It's been on a bunch of shows, actually.
It's getting to the point where if you see a television show that was filmed in New York and it has something to do with prison,
right,
it's taken place at Arthur Kill Correctional Facility, the former Arthur Kill Correctional Facility.
Also, fun fact, the end of the movie Analyze This with Robert De Niro.
Sing, sing.
They're walking down the school tunnel in Sing Sing in New York. So every time I see that tunnel, every time I see that, I'm like, man, I walked so many inmates down and up that tunnel. I'm surprised I wasn't 100 pounds, man.
I was stationed in that tunnel in the winter when they were doing the escorts back and forth from the yard. And it's right over the Hudson River.
Yeah.
When it's 30 degrees out, I froze my ass off in that tunnel.
Yeah. I would probably say there was probably like a quarter of a mile too. Like it was a long, long tunnel.
Yeah,
it was
sure.
A very long tunnel, and it was very dark. And yeah, it was that tunnel was kind of crazy. But you know what? I had it good over there in Sing Sing. I liked Sing Sing, actually. It was a good place. It was a good place. It actually reminds me a lot of where I work now. It's kind of the same kind of setup, except for it's not. I'm working with detainees now instead of
the convicts. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Sing Sing. Arthur Kill was nice though.
Yeah. Well, don't know what you got till you're gone, right? Till it's gone, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Cuomo. You're such a pal.
One more year. So
what we got? We got a voicemail this week, huh?
Yeah, we have a voicemail.
I'm sorry, Joe. We started talking about social media.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a voicemail on the Ghost Hacks podcast voicemail, 845-379-1331. If you want to call, chat, tell us about your paranormal experiences, tell us about what you want to hear on the show, curse us out.
Sure.
That's the number to do it.
Oh, by the way, I think it's awesome that somebody left us a review and said, I like turtles.
Because, oh my God, yeah.
Do anything. You could even say, I like turtles. And somebody actually did that. Whoever that was, thank you.
Whoever you are, you rock. That was awesome. Coach Joe's talking about the little purple icon on your iPhone podcast. we got a review. And I was always saying, what was I always saying? You can leave any sort of review you want. As long as it's written out, you could say, I like turtles. One superstar out there actually wrote, I like turtles. I love it.
That was, yeah. See, they get us. They get us.
And neither of us could figure out who it is, which is the best.
So this, just to set this up a little bit, this voicemail comes from a woman named Jill. She's a school teacher, and she worked at one point. She worked on Roosevelt Island teaching, and she had a pretty crazy experience. So let's check this out.
Let's hear it.
Hello. This is Jill calling from out in the sticks on Long Island. I do have a ghost experience I wanted to share with you. I am a teacher, and about, I'm going to say 6 years ago, I worked on Roosevelt Island. I taught in a school that was a charter school. I think the address was in the 500s. I'm going to say early 500s on Main Street. And when I did my interview, I had to cross the street and fill out some paperwork. And the computer teacher was in there, and she had to look over my papers. And she made a comment to me saying, all right, well, it's so nice to meet you. I'm looking forward to you working here. And the last thing I wanted to tell you is just don't ever get caught here at night. And I said, okay. And I left. It was a weird thing for her to say, and I'll never forget her saying that. And I just assumed she meant, you know, being in the neighborhood at night, being alone, to be cautious, and didn't think anything of it until later on, 1 year later, is my ghost experience. So we had parent-teacher night, and I'm from Long Island. At the time, I was living in Huntington, so I was commuting in. And everybody else that I taught with was a native New Yorker, Manhattanite, or they lived in Brooklyn or the Bronx. So we didn't have to be at school till 7 p.m., and they would all go home to eat dinner. I had a 2-hour commute, so I stayed in my classroom and followed up on some work. I'm doing my papers, I'm doing my grading, and I am all by myself. There's nobody in the building except for one secretary who, you know, checks everybody in downstairs. So I am probably 2 flights, I'm up on the 3rd floor, and the main level was floor 1. So I'm in my classroom by myself, doing my work, and I hear a noise in the hallway. Kind of sounds like someone dropped a book on the floor, but like a weird echo, just like a weird noise I wasn't familiar with. We didn't have lockers in that building. It was a fairly newly constructed building. It wasn't like an antique or an old building at all. It was fairly modern. So I just heard this weird noise. So I walked out to the hallway. And that day, of course, I decided to dress nicely. So I had on some really nice boots and a skirt and our school sweater. And definitely not something I was prepared to run in an outfit to run down the hallways in. But I did, because as I walk out of my classroom, I look to the right, and I see at the end of the hallway, where there is a staircase for emergency purposes only, students never take it, we use the center staircase. I see a dark, opaque figure that was definitely the silhouette, the shape of a person, but a rather tall person and kind of slender. But yet I could see through them a little bit because the walls are brick, so I just see through. And it's looking right at me. I don't see a face, but it's looking at me because I feel it. It's just a feeling. And so I freeze, and I'm staring at it. We make contact. And then it just kind of gently glides into the wall as if it's walking into a doorway. However, there is no doorway there, and this thing does not have feet. So I'm going to say around the shins is where it kind of fades out. And this is as much as I could remember, where I'm also almost like shitting my pants at this point. And so I just turn around and I book down the stairs. And there was some more people that gathered, you know, into like the main office at that point. And sure enough, the tech teacher is there, and she says, "Is everything okay? Is everything okay?" So I just told her exactly what I experienced. And she said, you know, I tell everybody to, you know, not be caught here at night because the building is haunted. And for sure, I saw something, and at least 50% of the staff also saw something. So just a heads up, that island is haunted.
That's
Cool.
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Thank you very much, Jill, for that. That was awesome.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Although they do have the cool tram. Obviously, you know, they got a cool tram and they got ghosts. So Roosevelt Island is even cooler.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't get out very much. I didn't even know we had a Roosevelt Island.
Come on, bro. You lived here your whole life.
Yeah, I know, but you know, I didn't go to places.
Places, dude. It's Queens, man.
That was pretty boring, man. I mean, I played guitar and stuff and played in places, but you know, yeah. But yeah, that's crazy. And actually, that's how I describe the entities that I've seen. I haven't seen a lot of like full-bodied apparitions. Maybe, I guess, two. You know, the one when I was very young, and then the one that I talked about in the last episode in Vegas. I think those were really the only two full-bodied apparitions that I had seen. But they were both that kind of way, you know, transparent. You can't see any feet. Like it's like there's no mistaking it. When you see something like that in front of you, you're like, yeah, that's that person's not alive. You know, it's very, very creepy. But yeah, that was an awesome story, Jill. Thank you very much. And also, like we said before, you know, definitely if you want to give us a call, let us know some paranormal experiences, and you could do it completely anonymous if you want. You don't have to tell us where you're from, what your name is, if you don't want to.
Definitely. And we've touched on it before, especially if you're on the job and you don't feel comfortable about telling your ghost stories. We're here to listen, and you could do it anonymously.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because look, you know the ball busting on this job. You let people know you got a ghost story, forget about it.
That's true. That's very Yep. I mean, I get it where I work. You know, right now. You know, but it's been pretty positive, everybody that I've been talking to about it. You know, like, you know, I'll mention, oh yeah, you know, I talk about this, I talk about that, and I experienced this, and they actually find it more interesting than anything. I don't know what they're saying, you know, when I walk out of the room, but they seem very genuine about it. So, you know, that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
You know?
I had a buddy of mine. I was like, well, what do you think of the podcast? He goes, I haven't listened to it. I go, you haven't listened to it? I said, what? You don't like the supernatural paranormal topic? He goes, no, I'm with you 16 hours a day. I want to listen to you an hour on the way home too. Forget about it.
That's funny. For the people that don't know what jail is about, and for our listeners that do, you know, correction officers and whatnot. So the other day I went back to one of my old commands to pick up an inmate, and it was quite a rough command. You know, a lot of alarms, a lot of craziness that went on there. So, you know, I walked through there. I was there for about an hour and a half, you know, saw a lot of old friends and stuff, which was really cool. So just to put into perspective what jail is all about, I go back to the intake area with the inmates, right? And I see an inmate mopping something up off the floor, right? A red liquidy substance, right? Off the floor. So I say to the inmate, hey, is that Kool-Aid or blood? He goes, it's Kool-Aid. I said, oh, all right, cool. You know, but that sums up, you know, like
you pretty much always got to check.
Is that blood or what is that? You know, is that chocolate or is that shit? What is that? Hey, you know, I don't want to say anything wrong and people to portray me in the wrong way, you know, but a career criminal is a career criminal. They're not going to change overnight. They're not going to change who they are. You know, there are people that do go to prison and they never come back, you know, because they learn their lesson. That does happen. But
A crook is a crook. I ain't mad at him.
If that's your job,
Yeah, exactly.
if you could almost collect a pension for robbing people for 20 something years,
Then, hey, God bless.
and you're not going to stop, you're not going to change. I would hope if you're a 60, 70-year-old man, you're still not going to be doing that. But being that I work in an area where people come right off the street from being arrested, I see a lot of that. I see a lot of older people still coming to jail.
Right.
Like, oh, I did 30 years up there, and I haven't been arrested in 50 years or some crap.
Right.
It's crazy, but
and yet here you are. Thank you for the job security.
But yeah, no, I'll say this though. I worked with some of the worst, and I had some insane days, some really, really crazy days. But the one thing that corrections has never let me down with was I have tons of stories. I have stories for years.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's true where they say that every day really is different,
Well, that kind of leads us, that's a great segue. Thank you very much. That leads us into next week's guest is going to be our a man we both know and love very much that we worked with, Michael Blaine, retired correction lieutenant. He did his whole career in the infamous Clinton Correctional Facility, except for the time he came down to New York City to work with us. He's written a book. He had to wait until he retired to write this book just to expose all the fuckery.
Wow.
And it's called The Invisible Walls of Dannemora, Inside the Infamous Clinton Correctional Facility. He's going to be on next week. So yeah, aside from being a retired correction lieutenant, Mike was also a hypnotist, working hypnotist for many years. I'm sure you remember that.
Master hypnotist, actually.
Master hypnotist, yeah, doing fairs and shows everywhere he could. And 9 to 5, he was a jail guard. But we're going to touch base on, the paranormal, his take on the paranormal. We're going to touch base on his career and the book. Definitely. I love hearing him talk about the book.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, just to put it out there, because I think we might have mentioned it once or twice, possibly, but very, very soon we will be putting out a haunted jail and haunted prison series. I guess we could call it a series. It's going to be part 1.
Part 1's coming up.
Part 1 is coming up. It's going to have a lot of cool things about some haunted prisons and jails from around the world. So I'm looking forward to it also. We're definitely going to do it justice. That's for sure.
Yeah. If you're out there listening and you know of a local county jail, because we'll know of state jails for the most part that are allegedly haunted, legend to be haunted. But if your local county jail has a haunted past, a checkered past, give us a call. Let us know where it is on the Ghost Hacks podcast voicemail at 845-379-1331. Or you could reach out to us on the website, ghosthackspodcast.com.
That's right. All right. So let me talk about this story that I got here. I thought it was pretty interesting. It came out, let's see, February 10th, a couple days ago. So this
is sick. Yeah. This is sick.
But it's right up our alley because it's about heavy metal and some weird shit. So, hey.
Yeah.
So this guy.
You sent me the link. I'm sorry to interrupt you. You sent me the link and I didn't fucking believe it.
Yeah.
I didn't fucking believe it. And it was in the New York Post. And I was like, I still don't believe it.
So it's about this dude. He's a guitar player from Tampa, Florida, which goes by Prince Midnight. Which is pretty stupid.
If you're gonna pick a stage name, dude, Prince has already been taken.
Prince
done right.
Midnight.
Yeah.
Prince Midnight. So yeah. So what he did was he took the rib cage spine of his uncle's skeleton, His uncle was already passed away. Let's just say that his uncle had passed away in 1996, and his parents were basically paying rent for his uncle's body to be buried, and it was costing them a lot of money. And so what he did was, oh, here it is. He took his uncle's the rib cage, the spine, and the pelvic area, and he made it into a guitar. Yeah. He had asked a couple companies to try and do it, and one company said that they would help him, and then they got freaked out and said, no, we're not going to do that. So it was his uncle Philippe. He was only 28 years old, died in a motorcycle accident, and he was a huge metalhead as well. You know, his nephew figured that this would be a great tribute to him.
I ain't
That would be
feeling
pretty
it.
badass. Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
I ain't feeling it at all. Listen, I don't know why he would have to go to a company. You're looking at a picture of the guy, right? This is an older guy. He's obviously been playing guitar for forever.
Right.
You know, he's been playing guitar since we were playing guitar, trying to be rock stars. You know what I mean?
Right.
Wait, let's start at the beginning of this.
Right.
Florida man. It is a fucking shock for you, huh? But you know, my man is still rocking the CC DeVille poison hair and the fingerless gloves and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's cool. But my man, he knows how to play guitar. So if he knows how to play guitar, he knows how to put a guitar together. It's pretty rudimentary. You know how to put pickups. You know where to put the guitar in, the cable input.
But where do you put the pickups on a rib cage? That's what
that's my problem with it. Why would you go to a company to try to figure that out? And I had a problem with that story. It seemed like to me that he was trying to get 15 minutes of fame. You know what I mean?
He got it.
He certainly did.
He definitely got it. The one thing that I actually really like about it, now he put a Fender Telecaster neck on it.
I was just going to say that, man. He didn't even customize the neck.
So, but what I think is awesome is the name that they gave it.
What is it?
The Philippe Skelecaster.
That's all right. You know what?
I like that.
I didn't see that in the audio. That is kind of cool. Yeah.
I like that name. This Philippe, that's his uncle's name, so he's giving him tribute. The Skelecaster. I think that's pretty cool. I would have liked it better if it was, you know, maybe like Fake Bones, like, you know, George Lynch's guitar. But yeah, that's just a little too much. But that's definitely an interesting story that I wanted to bring to everybody.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, they got a photo in the post of him holding it and not playing it. And it's very, other than the fact that the foundation is bones, it's very, very basic. You know, there's nothing,
right?
There's nothing holding the wiring together. There's nothing hidden or nothing. This was my man's 15 minutes of fame. He is not going to go out on stage and be doing Europe covers at the local bar playing this.
And his mom is pissed.
I bet.
His mom, basically, she thinks it's sacrilegious, which I'd probably say it is, and the work of the devil. And then he said, well, you know how moms are. You know?
Nah, bro, your mom's right this time.
You know how regular people are. Come on, man.
Exactly, man.
You know, I'm all for, you know, shock rock and shocking people with things. You know, I liked Marilyn Manson back in the day, you know, when
you can't say that now. You can't. He's been canceled.
You
can't say that. He got canceled this week.
Oh.
You heard about that? I don't know.
I didn't.
I'm looking at your face. I don't think you heard about that.
No, I didn't hear about that.
Supposedly, my man has got chicks coming out saying that when they were dating, he would tune them up. And that was the only way he could get off, was to lay hands on them.
Wow.
And he's got like 2 or 3 girls have said this. Like, he's denying it, but he already got dropped by the record company.
Really?
Yeah, management already dropped him.
That dude is like you could push him over with a feather, that dude.
Yeah, I get it, dude. But come on, man. You know.
Yeah.
They're using the words in the press release. I saw they're using the words like he was grooming me and then laying hands on me when we were having sex. So,
wow.
Like, I don't put it past him because he's a Looney Tunes. You know what I'm saying? But
honestly, I think he's a fake Looney Tunes. But yeah.
But you can't do that if somebody ain't into it.
Right.
Your partner ain't into it.
Yeah, of course not. And at the same time, yeah, I feel like he was fake, but you know how if you believe the lie after a while, you start becoming that, you know.
Right. Oh, totally.
He might actually really be, Looney Tunes now. But in the beginning, it was all an act.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with you there. But yeah, we can't use Marilyn Manson as an example no more.
All right, Alice Cooper.
There you go. He just plays golf. He ain't never been canceled.
And he likes to chop his own head off at concerts.
Right.
Yeah, I will not be purchasing a Skelecaster anytime soon.
No, definitely not.
I don't think. I'm happy with the current guitar choice I have.
Yo, Prince Dandy Midnight's mom better watch out. She keels over. He might make a bass out of her. You know what I mean?
Maybe. All right. Thanks, everybody, for checking out episode 12.
12.
Podcast.
Good God. And if you haven't listened to the first 11, what are you waiting for?
Absolutely.
Go back. Listen.
That's a lot of time you could be wasting with your life. I mean,
Go for a drive down to Atlantic City where nothing's open and turn around and drive back.
No, thank you, everybody. And check out our website, www.ghosthackspodcast.com. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook groups, TikTok, and yeah.
If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, go down to that purple icon, give us 5 stars, write us a review. It helps. We have no idea why, but it certainly helps.
Absolutely. And thanks a lot, everybody, and have a good night. Later.
Thank you for listening to the Ghost Hacks Podcast. If you like what you heard, please subscribe and find us on Facebook groups. If you have any paranormal experiences you would like to share, please email joeghosthacks@gmail.com, and we may even read your submission on the air. Have a good night, and don't forget to change your shorts.